Has the body positivity movement gone too far? That's the question we're going to answer today. Hi, I'm Jamie and I'm a body positive content creator. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. Welcome back. Let's get into the topic. Okay, so a lot of people say that the body positivity movement has gone too far. I think there's like a Dr. Phil episode, and I think it's titled that exact thing.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. Has the body positivity movement gone too far?
I also see it on like Twitter and TikTok, in comments. People think the movement and the idea of, self-acceptance and body acceptance has gone too far. When I hear things like that, my first thought is, oh, I guess there's a lot more of it now, right? You have brands that are trying to be more size inclusive or have campaigns that showcase diverse models. So I think when you think about where we were maybe like a decade ago, when you saw a commercial for Gatorade or some kind of like Under Armour or Nike, you would always see a commercial with an athlete or a model that had the ideal standard of beauty or body type. You fast forward now, and Nike has a plus size mannequin, and Gatorade featured Jessamine Stanley. And so things like that, I think, are starting to freak people out. Certain kinds of people, it's like a gut reaction. They're seeing a little bit of diversity in places that never had it before, and suddenly are like, oh, okay, look, it's gone too far. People want to be fat now. That's not the case. When it comes down to it, this is why all of it sounds so absurd. I think because there is more visibility of diverse body types, I think there are some people who are suddenly like, whoa, 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 whoa. There's way too many fat people now. It's getting widely accepted. The self-love movement has gone too far. You see it all the time when there's change, right? But the thing is, despite all the body positivity that you think you might be seeing, it's not reality. The reality is diet culture is still around. Like, Weight Watchers now is, WW, like things like that. Is it better than it was? Yes and no. But diet culture is still here, but, it's disguising itself a little bit differently these days. There are still doctors who, look at the BMI chart. People still use it, even though the body positivity movement and body liberation and fat acceptance preach how outdated it is. They don't care. They still use it. The first time I went to my gynecologist, and the first thing he talked about was my BMI chart, or was my BMI number, and that I was in the obese category. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I've been overweight my whole life. I was like, okay, cool. Could we talk about some other things? And it was like, no. That's all he wanted to talk about was my diet. We went through the whole, wellness check, but that was still the only thing that we wanted to talk about. When my labs got back from that, annual exam, I thought they were going to be really bad. And they weren't. They were completely normal. But all I could think about was my doctor said I needed to lose weight. And so I pushed really hard to lose weight that year. And when I came back, I had lost 50 pounds. So my BMI went lower. Now, I'm 5'4". I'm 5'4". The BMI chart thinks I should be at the highest, like 140, 150, I believe. I think 140. I haven't been 140 since maybe middle school. So I was really proud that I had lost 50 pounds. Went to the doctor, same doctor. I'm thinking He's going to be so proud of me that I've lost 50 pounds. And the first thing he brings up is my BMI again, and that maybe I need to watch my caloric intake. And I was shocked. But if I had tried to lose any more weight than where I was at, I was already doing everything in my power to try to lose weight. And so it's sad. So I think about that when someone's like, oh, body positivity has gone too far. Has it though? Doctors are still using that. Now, people are upset that people can now stand up for themselves, you know? Like there's cards that's like, hey, please don't tell me about my weight. And you can hand that to your doctor or your nurse, and people are just, oh, look at body positivity. Like that is horrible. Like, who do they think they are? You can hand your doctor a card telling them that you don't want to discuss your weight. Yeah. And people can be like, well, it's about your health. I'm not going there, because there are other ways to approach your health without weight loss being the forefront. You could say, you know what? Have you decided to intake more water? Are you moving more? I could do all those things and not lose weight. Like, that's the thing. Weight is we need to see weight more of a growing hair, or you know what I mean? And I know some people be like, well, it's obviously more significant than that, Jamie. But it's one of those things that sometimes you can control and sometimes you can't. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that, because that in itself is a whole other topic. But the medical industry hasn't changed. So how far has the movement really gone? So the next thing I want to discuss is, let me show you the tweet, because I need to find that tweet, because I think it perfectly summed up exactly what I was thinking, or at least how it's been feeling lately. So the tweet goes, body positivity and the thick girl movement we've been rocking for the last 4 years leaped out the door the second Ozempic Wegovy became available. LMFAO, skinny was always in. That is the next thing I want to talk about, is people are abusing prescription diabetic medication in order to lose weight. We're seeing celebrities do it. We're seeing influencers do it. We're seeing just regular people do it. And this is now affecting people who actually have diabetes. That's how strong diet culture is, that people don't care. They want to be smaller at all costs. There are people who have built platforms on being plus size who have suddenly decided that they're going to lose weight, and that's fine. And that's fine. Ultimately, body liberation is about autonomy and about doing your own thing. Why I bring this up is, ultimately, even if it's for health, right? There's something about intentional weight loss that sometimes feels like you're trying to distance yourself from people in bigger bodies. And that might not be the case most times. But we saw it with Rebel Wilson, some of the comments she made after losing weight, and then going on to make a clothing line or a hoodie or whatever it was, and only having the sizes go up to an extra large or a 1X or even that. I don't even know if but it shows that lack of empathy, that connection literally dissolved as soon as she was in a smaller body, because she was praised and she was considered more deserving. And that's uncool. Society as a whole has not gotten to where the body positive movement is. It's just not there. Society still thinks smaller is better. Thinner is healthier. It's still there. Just because we put Tess Holliday on a cover doesn't mean everyone's like, yes, you know what? I want to be fat too. That's not what people think when they see that. People think when you see fat icons like Tess Holliday or Lizzo, that people are like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to be fat too. That is actually not happening. And I think that's what critics believe. Because people forget the stigma that comes with being fat. It reminds me of this video. It was of Dr. Jane Elliott, who, you know, she talks about race and she did the like blue-eyed, brown-eyed project. But there was this one video where if I find the video, I'll try to put it in the video.
I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
Nobody raised their hand because I think the whole point is you realize that black people are mistreated and are treated in a way in the world that you don't want to be in that position. It's not apples to apples, but in the same kind of sense, people don't want to be in fat bodies because they know that they're going to be mistreated. Does that make sense? I hope that didn't feel like a stretch. So what I'm saying is when people see fat icons, they're not like, this inspired me to gain weight. That doesn't happen. But when people see a cover with a thin, you know, curvaceous in the right spot model, the ideas of, oh, maybe I need to go on a diet or maybe I need to lose weight, those or maybe I need plastic surgery, those ideas pop up into your head. You know, those ideas come forth. So when the people say body positivity is gone too far, what is it? You just don't want to see fat people. Fat people have always existed. We're just finally getting to celebrate them. And now you're like, oh, Jamie, why are we celebrating fat bodies? Fat bodies are bad. No. We're celebrating these people for who they are, not just their bodies. Has anyone ever thought that? You know, it reminds me of, gosh, I don't even know who the comedian is, if you can call him a comedian, because his shit's not funny, but he was talking about how much he hates plus size models. If I find the clip, I'll play it.
There is nothing that enrages me more than fat models. There is nothing that enrages me more than fat fucking models. As a comic, we want attention. Mm-hmm. We don't feel like we deserve it. So we make you laugh, so there's an even exchange. I get my attention, you get some joy, okay? Regular model, at least she's willing to lose weight so that she can be looked at. But these fat bitches are just like, look at me! I deserve to be looked at!
Stop.
When you hear him talk, so it's just so angry and like visceral and just like against a plus size models, plus size people, like that anger towards fat people hasn't gone anywhere. Ultimately, when it comes down to, and those people, so everyone has insecurities, right? Has things about themselves that they don't like. And I feel as if the people who have the most qualms with body positivity are the people who haven't worked through those insecurities, still hate parts of themselves, and they hate seeing people who society has usually deemed ugly, worthless, undeserving, celebrated when they haven't ever overcome those things. So, for example, in that instinct with the comedian, right? But he's, I don't know, of average build. Maybe he was scrawny growing up or something. Let's just say that. I don't know. I don't want to assume. But let's say he was scrawny growing up and he was teased, or he never really got to date as much, or, he felt like he didn't get the opportunities he deserved. And maybe he's finally like put on weight, or he's finally like overcome it somehow. And then he sees a plus size model working it, getting money, doing her thing, super confident. And he's pissed and he's angry that he had to work through, and he was, you know what I mean? I can't even explain it, but does that make sense? They're upset. And I have seen it more on the men's side, where this anger comes from. But I've seen it with women too, who are upset that, you know, this fat model is being celebrated and maybe they're not. Is it? I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from, because the excuse that it's because I'm concerned for your health, I'm concerned for the health of people and society, is a lie, because there's so many other things that are happening that have to do with health that you're not talking about. You want to talk about an individual person's health, because that's what it comes down to. Like, are you really concerned about health? If you are, there's the environment. Go talk about the environment and pollution, and go talk about there's disease, a lack of water. You know, think about Flint, Michigan. Like, are you really concerned about health? Because you're not. You're not. I'll just say that right now. I don't care if you say you are. You're just not. It's a lie. Especially if you're commenting on someone's post that, oh, you're going to die at 30. Well, guess what? I'm 31. So I beat you. What was I talking about? Gosh, I've already gone all over the place. I swear I have an outline for these things, and then my brain just takes off and I can't bring it back. Let's talk about the fashion industry. The fashion industry, sure, has improved, but it's still behind when it comes to diversity, when it comes to size inclusion. It's still behind. So if body positivity was this, you know, movement that was, oh my gosh, it's gone too far, right? Like, every store you would go into would have like extensive sizing. You know what I mean? And I don't mean up to a 3X, 4X, or even a 5X. I'm talking about extensive, like a 10X. And you don't see it. Also, let's talk about the media. I feel like I talk about the media every time I do a video. Like, who do I think I am? The media. Fat representation, has it gotten better? Yes and no. Still no. Reality dating shows, I think it's the first time I saw a plus size person was on Love is Blind. And hello, the show is called Love is Blind. So they probably thought, wink, wink, see, Love is Blind. You could love a fat person behind a curtain. That, you see what I'm saying? So diversity still has a long way to go in shows. I will say one great scene was in Grey's Anatomy, and they spoke a little bit about, you know, the bias that doctors have when it comes to fat patients, which I thought was great that Shonda wrote that in. She wrote that in. But so even though it was written in as a lesson, but I feel like, which is great, but fat people and people in bigger bodies should be more than a lesson, should be more than the self-image episode, the dieting episode, the makeover episode. It should be more than that now. It should be them just having happy lives. Why can't we have that? When you think about the amount of fat characters on television and in movies, the percentage is really small, despite the country being significantly like the population, like half the population's overweight, and yet you see like 10% of overweight characters. Does that make sense? Like, people want to say that fat is trendy and being overweight is trendy, and the movement has gone too far. It hasn't. And I feel like people have a warped view of the world, and so they're seeing that, but that's not what's happening. It's still not that way. And it's really just kind of annoying. You know, I feel like there's so much more body positivity can do and should do, but it does kind of, it's frustrating because like there's still diet commercials. There's still trolls in comments. You know, doctors are still prescribing weight loss and now weight loss drugs. You know, fitness trainers are still, when you walk in, think, okay, how much weight do you want to lose? I just wanted to work out for the day. But I walk in and you assume I want to lose weight. And it's just like, see what I mean? Like, body positivity where? Because you saw a Dove commercial that had a roll, you know, or a Gatorade commercial with a belly, and now it's everywhere. It's not. When people say things like body positivity is killing people, okay, you need to step back, because it's not. I don't know if I want to say much more about it. I probably need a part 2. But thank you so much for joining me. Please comment below if you have anything to add, or if you think I'm wrong. Maybe you think I'm wrong. But yes, like if you like the video, dislike it if you didn't like the video, whichever. Subscribe if you want to. Don't subscribe. But I will see you on my next one.